Hi guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing pretty fine. Welcome back to Chipanga Mazano channel. My name is Memory, your host. I'm thrilled today because I am back with this exciting topic, toxic relationships. I would like to believe that many of us are here because we want to come out of toxic relationships, or maybe we want to manage toxic relationships, or we want to help other people who are in toxic relationships in different communities where we are located. As Chipanga Mazano channel, I want to emphasize the fact that we promote peace. We believe that peace is a birthright to each and every one of us. It's not a luxury. I know some might believe that being in a peaceful environment is a luxury, but here we say it is your birthright. Everybody is entitled to peace. Whenever we feel we are not comfortable, we encourage one another to come out of that environment so that we may be fruitful, so that we may be the best of whom God created us to be. Like I indicated, we are back again with this exciting topic, toxic relationship. So in this episode, what we want to do is to help one another to identify toxic relationship, to note whether we are in toxic relationships or not. Some people have the ability to identify that indeed they are in a toxic relationship, and others think that maybe they are in toxic relationship, maybe they are in toxic relationships. So we just here to help one another to identify toxic relationships, see the characteristics of toxic relationships, and later on try now to manage or navigate through these toxic relationships so that we may lead peaceful lives, so that we may have healthy communities, so that we may have good relationships in our respective nations, communities, situations where we find ourselves in. So in most cases, people have a tendency of mistaking enduring pain with loyalty. They think because these are my family members, maybe my spouse, my boyfriend, my friend, or my business partner, so I have to endure the pain they bring in my life. That shouldn't be the case. That's not loyalty. You are doing a disservice to yourself. So in terms of the characteristics of toxicity, I want to highlight that if ever you feel there is an element of emotional drain, that is a toxic relationship. Emotionally, you feel that you are not whole, you cannot express yourself fully, your emotions are always tempered around with. Whenever they bring an issue, they try by all means to bring a negative vibe within you. That one is a toxic relationship. And also maybe whenever you feel you are walking on eggshells, I mean, you are not comfortable, you are always careful on how you talk to them or how you talk with them, how you present issues before them, and how you even walk before them. That actually shows that you are not yourself. You are always careful. You always think before you act. I mean, in a good relationship, you should be comfortable. You should feel that, I can do anything and everything. Why? Because this person knows me and they accept me as I am. That should be the case. So whenever you feel like, oh my goodness, I am, or I have to be careful. Before I talk to my pastor, I have to be careful. Before I talk maybe to my brother, I have to be careful. That one is not a good relationship. You are always conscious of how you should present yourself. I mean, that shouldn't be the case. Before you approach even your mom, your dad, you have to have a certain posture. You have to think of the right words in quotes. That one shouldn't be the case, because I mean, in a healthy environment, in a healthy relationship, you shouldn't be who somebody wants you to be. You should be yourself. So walking on eggshells is also one characteristic of a toxic relationship. Also, another example or characteristic of a toxic relationship is blame or manipulation. In most cases, the perpetrator always finds issues and ways of blaming the victim. Whenever a situation presents itself, they always say, things are this way because you did ABCD. Instead of us, tackling a case or maybe addressing an issue as it is, they come to us and tell us, we are in this situation. Why? Because you did ABCD. So another thing is blame shifting or manipulation. A toxic person can be very manipulating. They know how to blame other people. I've heard my own share of a toxic person who has this kind of a character. One time we visited a mutual friend who had contracted COVID. Unfortunately, this friend of mine also contracted the virus. Instead of her accepting that, it's something that has befallen her, she then blamed it upon me. I mean, her contracting the virus, it was upon me. Why? Because I am the one who had initiated that we should visit this mutual friend. I mean, who does that in this world, to blame others for a decision that we have made? Initially I thought it was just but a joke, but later I discovered that they meant it. They were like, if you had not initiated us to go and visit this, maybe I should be safe. I wouldn't have contracted the virus. But to me, I was like, no, you also made a decision as an adult, you see. So a toxic person has means and ways of shifting the blame on you. Or maybe you are discussing a particular topic, an area. Instead of us concentrating on this particular topic or issue that we have to deal with, they bring in another, so that they turn everything against you. That's toxicity. If ever maybe we do this, I want to let you know that you are a toxic person, or maybe you are experiencing something like this. You are in a toxic relationship. Also, lack of empathy. I mean, we just need to care for one another. We have to feel for one another. Whenever we feel that life is all about us, not thinking and feeling for other people, I mean, it's quite bad. That's toxicity. We just need to come out of it. We need to move out of it. And I also realized that a toxic person is more of it's an egocentric person. They are self-centered. Everything is about them. Everything is not about us. It's about them, not about us. What do I get out of this? Not what do we get. It's I. If you see a person, I mean, trying to be the good person, trying to benefit more from our conversation or from our relationship, you can regard them as a toxic person. Just a practical check. Do you ever feel drained? I mean, do you feel drained after having a conversation with someone? Like you feel that I am empty. This person is just draining my energy when I'm talking with them. I mean, they don't bring any positive vibe within me. If ever you feel that way, I want you to know that you are in a toxic relationship. I mean, after having a conversation with Chipangamazano, you should feel encouraged, uplifted. You feel you have gained one or two insights from here. Not to say, I have lost a lot. I mean, I'm no longer myself. I mean, there is nothing that I have benefited from them. If ever you feel that way, uncomfortable, doubting yourself, questioning yourself, that's toxicity, my friend. That's toxicity, and you need to come out of that kind of an environment. So, in terms of identifying toxic relationships, we have many of them. The characteristics of toxic relationship. One of it being lack of reciprocity. In most cases, a toxic person always wants to receive. They are always on the receiving end. They don't want to give, be it time or resources or maybe emotional space. They are not ready to give. They are only there to receive. For example, it's always them who are lacking. They always don't have money. Whenever they don't have, they want you to give them. And now, if it's now your time, when you are in need, you go to them and you ask them to help you. They are not in the space to help you. That's toxicity. I mean, if I am in a good relationship, it means we have to benefit from one another. I have wants, you also have wants, and we should meet halfway. So if a person now is always on the receiving end, I regard them as a toxic person. Know that you are in a toxic relationship. So lastly, I know there are many characteristics of a toxic person or situations where we are in toxic relationships, but the last one is just that a toxic person will never own their mistakes. They will never accept that they are in the wrong. They always find ways of guilt tripping us. I mean, you feel like you are the one who is in the wrong. They have certain ways of presenting facts and issues, turning them against you. Whenever maybe we have been talking, maybe we start arguing, we start quarreling. At the end of the day, they will tell you, I know you. This is who you are. You always want to bring, quarrels. Whenever we have conversations, you don't know how to talk. This is you. You are always bad. You see, so everything is about you, not about them. So at the end of the day, when you are now replaying the conversations, you always see yourself in the wrong. I mean, all the guilty conscience will be on you. That's toxicity, my friend. So refuse it. You don't need to accept it. Okay, this is going to be a conversation that we will have later on in the next episode. So it is very important that we identify toxic relationships so that we may be able to come out of them, so that we may be able to, apply some methods to manage this toxic relationship. Just be kind to yourself, my sister, my brother. Try by all means to fight toxic relationship. Don't stay in toxic relationship. Why? Because statistics has it that there are many people who lost their lives due to toxicity. There are also many people who could not thrive to their full potential because of toxicity. Some people will belittle you such that you feel like I shouldn't do certain things, not because you are not good at them, but because somebody just wants to belittle you, to look down upon yourself. Refuse it. Refuse it and refuse it. We want you to thrive in your respective areas, in your family, in your community. That's why we are bringing such topics as this one, toxic relationships. So I believe we have gotten one or two things from this conversation that we had. If ever you feel there are some areas or maybe that we need to tackle, you can leave a comment, or maybe you can share with people that you think maybe they can benefit from the conversation that we have had today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. We'll be happy if you if you share this episode with other people so that they may benefit from this conversation that we have had. Thank you so much for having me today. I hope we are going to be together in the next segment where we are going to understand now, why do we stay in these toxic relationships? We have identified that they are not good for us and also for our communities. So why is it that we are staying in these toxic relationships? We have identified that indeed they are toxic. So why are we in toxic relationships? Not to blame anyone, but we just want to see elements that pull us, that draw us, that always compel us to remain in these toxic relationships. Until we meet again, have a blessed day and God bless you.